Good evening. I'm Leland Vittert. On the program tonight, if this isn't the time to be president for all Americans, when will be? And it's election night, how an upset win in Nebraska could force even establishment Republicans to bow at the altar of Trump. Why one airline wants to drastically cut the experience required for its pilots. We'll tell you the warnings coming from pilots themselves. Plus, just how did a career criminal and his jail guard lover dupe the local sheriff? And when will that investigation start? But first, on point tonight, ultra-MAGA. Will the American people buy President Biden's latest scapegoat for inflation?
I never expected the ultra-MAGA Republicans who seem to control the Republican Party now to have been able to control the Republican Party. I never anticipated that happening.
All right. So if we follow the logic here, if President Biden never anticipated ultra-MAGA, whatever that means, we'll get to that in a minute, then he doesn't have to work with ultra-MAGA to solve all of the problems that are affecting us today, all the problems that our country has. Here is the president at his inauguration.
And I pledge this to you. I will be a president for all Americans, all Americans. And I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did.
That was only 475 days ago, and a lot has changed. Biggest issue, probably for all of us, is the economy. Today, gas hit another all-time record, and the cost of everything else appears nowhere close to the top.
I want every American to know that I'm taking inflation very seriously, and it's my top domestic priority.
All right. So if it's your top priority, you would do anything to get it fixed. You would compromise. You would bring people that you disagree with to the same table. But apparently, the problems we are facing are not enough to get Mr. Biden back to being president for all America. In fairness, not all the problems facing America are Mr. Biden's fault. Just think about what they are thinking about in the White House today. They are all the responsibility of those in the White House. After all, it is George Washington's job. Inflation, gas prices, the war in Ukraine, the empty shelves crisis, a country divided now on abortion, China's saber rattling, an apparent shortage of baby formula, rising crime in America, the border crisis. Again, not all of his fault, but the responsibility of the man in the White House. If that list doesn't lower the temperature, if that list doesn't get the president to bring us together and compromise, if that list doesn't get the president to go 16 blocks up Pennsylvania to Capitol Hill, sit down with Republicans and start making deals, what will? We have serious problems. The Senate split 50-50. Any real solution to the list above requires compromise. It requires the kind of deal-making swing voters elected Mr. Biden to do. That's what he promised. That's what's made him different than President Trump. You might remember him last week calling the MAGA movement the most extreme political organization that existed in American history. That prompted this Tom Sticklich cartoon with a John Deere hat-wearing voter saying he sure has a strange way of unifying the country. Even Mr. Biden's usually friendly press corps is almost bewildered.
Do you think there's any fallout from that? Is it kind of like when Hillary Clinton called this same Trump base deplorables?
Alex, be careful, right? Because I think that backfired on her. I think that she regretted it. I think it became a rallying cry.
Oh, that CNN moment fell on deaf ears. They doubled down. So today came ultra-MAGA. Even President Biden's press secretary seems a little bit unsure of what ultra-MAGA even means.
I mean, why now use this phrase?
I will tell you is the president's phrase, and the president made those comments himself just last week, as you know. And I think what has struck him is how extreme some of the policies and proposals are.
So then who is an ultra-MAGA Republican?
I would say people who support that portion of the Republican agenda.
There is the politics of this, of course, which are kind of fun to talk about, especially if you used to live in Washington like I did. And then there are the economic realities for you, for all of us. Among those Mr. Biden blames for inflation and talked about in his speech today, Putin, the GOP, supply chains and COVID, oil companies, meat packers, grocery stores, and big corporations. Then today came more of ultra-MAGA. Again, here is CNN.
Do you take any responsibility for your policies?
I think our policies help, not hurt. Think about what they say. The vast majority of the economists think that this is going to be a real tough problem to solve.
It makes you long for the good old days when President Biden and his economic team said inflation was transitory. Now it's going to be, and we quote, a real tough problem to solve. Again, if this isn't the time to be president for all Americans, when will be? Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.